is now applied to all of you. How about that story?
So we'll take the last question here from our student there. So please, can we have the mic passed on to her, please? Who has the mic here? Thank you, Mansi. A friend in need is Mansi indeed. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to ask, I guess that you must have experienced jealousy. How do you cope with that? And I've got a very special kind of jealousy in mind, and that's the jealousy of the following story, let's say. I guess that people might have been helped if they feel very low, and all of us probably must have felt somehow very down in the course of our lives. And we get the help. But later on, when we somehow get better, those people who helped us sometimes behave that they don't really wish that, they don't really wish us to have such a big improvement, which was quite surprising to me. And that's the kind of jealousy that help is obviously a word that is very nice, and everyone shares that or values that, but when it comes to prosperity of the person who has been helped, sometimes it's a surprise for the donator. Do you experience this situation?
Yeah. I don't understand the question though. Was there a question?
How do you help, how do you see this jealousy, or how do you cope with that if you have ever experienced this?
Myself?
Yes.
I handle it by arrogance because I think I'm so smart that there's no man better than me out there. But underneath I know that that's not really true, and that there's lots of people who might be better fits and so forth. Most of the time I try to talk it out, but sometimes what I had in my case was with my third wife. She refused to actually deal with the question and just jumped to the idea that I'm trying to hold her back. And that wasn't really the case. I'm just trying to hold on to her. So you need to be able to have a relationship where you can actually talk about this, and the other person can, and both people can be open enough to deal with it. Otherwise, I just went back to work and made more money, so I felt better about myself.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Daveni. I think, there are, I'd love to, maybe we can continue the questions with Professor Daveni and Madame Vided offline so that we can, liberate the room and all of you can float around and ask. They're both going to be here. So I'll take the liberty of asking the last question and then wrapping this up. Madam, you've been here with us and you've seen what we are doing. I'd like to particularly take your thoughts on what do you think is the potential of what we are doing? And how do you see us growing? Of course, I'll share more with you, but what is your feeling of what we are doing? What did you feel? And where do you think we are going? And where would you like us to go?
It's a difficult question. Really, I appreciate my stay here because I met so fantastic women and from different countries. It's good to share our experiences and to listen and to know others. What you do is great. I mean, Harbin, it's a great. Congratulations for this success, for this forum, for the success of this forum, and I think it's you have to go on for the next forums. We'll be happy that Tunisia will host the next one in October. Yeah.
26th of September to 30th of September.
Yeah,
Join us in Tunisia.
But not so far from, I mean, Europe. Just, and even we have connection with, I mean, Middle East and with different countries, so there is no problem for connections. People, they speak Arabic, French, but English also is, I mean, used there. Don't be, I mean, don't be worried. We can understand you easily. Just to say is I appreciate this forum, but if I have some suggestions, I think we need to have more international media, just to share those moments, because it's very important to know each other by media, people that they are outside India. Maybe it's, for me, I discovered especially Indian women, really, because it's my first time that I saw and I listened to many and different women, but we need to change the idea.
What just she was sharing with me the other day is that the image of India and the status of women in India is so misperceived abroad, and it's like an image of, you know, because only the stories of rape and abuse, and which are also there, are only carried in the media. So there is a sort of distorted perception in the West about women in India, and when she discovered was entirely the opposite was true as well, but that was not reflected at all in the Western media, in the international media.
And last, if you may, the suggestion is we need to know better from the culture. Maybe when you go for sometimes in some forum, we need to see more culture events. It's very important because with culture we can, have some messages, and it's very important, to understand. Because, you know, I know that films from Bollywood, they are well known singers also, but not so much. So if we have this just to discuss and to learn that there are stories about, it's very important. Last thing is always to be connected. I like it and appreciate it so much. If you, that there are students here, it's very important because they represent the future, and students need to be present in all forums. First, to learn. Second, to give to share. Yeah, it's very important. Maybe next time we need to listen to them.
We had a lot of sessions actually. We had about
I'm not from
about
I'm sorry,
yeah.
But it's very important even for the exchange. It's very important because maybe they have something different to teach us, and it will be very important. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Madam. Richard, can I also ask you that question? I will not miss this opportunity of getting a bit of strategic insight from you on what did you feel about what we've been creating. You've been, privy to this whole journey from the very start. You've been part of the creation of this whole network. You've been, giving strategic insight and direction to us from the very beginning, from there to here, and now to where? Professor Daveni.
I have enjoyed this conference a great deal because it was a free and open discussion. Unfortunately, in the United States now, supposed to be, the free speech country, you can't have these kinds of discussions because if you don't follow the party line, and then you're in trouble. I see I'm getting, I like to watch the reaction. So you've been my bellwether. You've been smiling, but now you're rolling your eyes. Yeah. Yes, exactly, and I got your message. So because it's very difficult to have this kind of discussion in the United States now, because radicals will just say you can't have that at all, and men have no right to be jealous, or men, and so forth and so on, and so I think. The most significant contribution that you could do to go forward is to keep open the lines of communication and to allow people to express their opinions pro and con or in the gray areas so that they can be talked about and dealt with. Because the last thing we want is a world where nobody talks with each other and the politics of division prevent us from coming together. And so I want to thank you for having set the tone, because the tone of this conference reflects the goodness of your personality. So thank you very much for doing that. And I think you should expressly think about how you make that the distinctiveness of the All Ladies League and of the Women's Economic Forum going forward.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Professor Daveni. Madame Wided, a big round of applause to our guests tonight for being here with us, for you know, just being part of the Women Economic Forum in such a heartfelt, warm way, and being there as great pillars of support that I count on and I will continue to count on. Madame Wided, Professor Richard, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, we prepare tomorrow for the final day, day 6 of the annual Women Economic Forum, and I look forward to meeting all of you at 9 a.m. in this room. Have a good night.